Welcome to the M&M Show.
I'm Miles Berkowitz.
I'm Marco Baldino. Today we'll be talking about the NFL offseason, like free agents, head coaches, and players' retirement. All right, let's get started with Geno Smith.
Well, Geno Smith, he had a really nice year. Obviously, the comeback player of the year, when the Seahawks traded Russell Wilson, they just had Drew Lock and Geno Smith, and, he was the last guy left. He beat out Drew Lock for the job, and I think he's a really great story. He came from the Jets. He was obviously on your Giants for a couple of years, and he's a really good story.
Yeah, he was comeback player of the year. Could have been Saquon, but also he was really up there in the list. Very well deserved for him, and well deserved for like a contract extension with the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had 30 touchdowns, only 11 interceptions. He threw for over 4,000 yards. He did have some help from DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Kenneth Walker, but he was really accurate, especially in the first half of the season. It'll be interesting to see how, as his career progresses, he is getting older. He relies quite a bit on his athletic ability, so we'll see how he does. But I think he's pretty, smart, as he is a good coach in Pete Carroll, and I really like the way he's going. He got a 3-year extension, so I really like what he's doing. All right, now let's talk about Kareem Hunt. I think, he's one of the more interesting people in the free agency class. He was a backup with the Browns. He started with the Chiefs, had some off-the-field issues, and he ended up with the Browns, and he's kind of like, you never know where he's going to go. He could be, the Austin Eckler's asking for a trade. He could sign with the Chargers. I wouldn't even be surprised if he didn't get signed before training camp,
Yeah, you're right. You don't know where he's going to go. No one really knows where he could go. He could go anywhere. If a team needs a running back, they'll probably pick him up. He's a good player to have.
And running back's such a quick in-and-out position. Like Ezekiel Elliott, he was just the rushing leader 2 years ago, and now he got cut. So it'll be really interesting to see where he goes. He could end up anywhere. I already mentioned the Chargers. The Bears need a running back. The Lions, they could use another running back. There are just a ton of teams that could, ask for his production on the field, but you really never know with him. All right, now let's talk about Jesse Bates. He's been the safety for the Bengals for a couple of years. He signed with the Falcons, and now he's got a massive extension, and we'll see, what he does going into 2024 season, and it'll be interesting to see what he does as one of the highest paid safeties in the league.
Being the highest paid safety in the league puts a lot of pressure on your back, because you got to really show now why you deserve to be the highest paid safety in the league.
Yeah, I think he's going to be really helpful with the Falcons' defensive rebuild, and he's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to see what he does. They're a young team. Their coach, Arthur Smith, I think he really helped out the defense a lot, and it'll be interesting to see what he does.
We've interviewed 3 people and asked their opinion of what they think about a couple of these free agents.
Where do you think Kareem Hunt's going?
I could see him going to the Bills in the offseason. It just all depends. It's either the Bills or the Dolphins, maybe.
What do you think about people becoming free agents this season?
So, such as Geno Smith, the comeback player of the year, had an incredible season. He says he wants to re-sign with the Seahawks, but it will be exciting for him to go to another team, play well there for another team that really needs a quarterback, and congrats to him for winning the comeback player of the year. Maybe it could have been Saquon Barkley, to be honest. But, yep.
What do you think about the free agency in the NFL season?
Well, I thought Josh Jacobs had a good season. He was the leading running back in rushing yards. He did good overall. He should be paid at least $15 million this year coming up. He tried going for a fifth-year offer, but it was declined, sadly. So now he's a free agent.
Josh Jacobs, he was one of the more interesting free agents. As of today, he did get franchise tagged by the Raiders. He got a lot of money. He was being paid $12 million, and now he could be paid anywhere upwards of 17. It's only a one-year deal, the franchise tag, but it'll be interesting to see what he does if this year, he was the leading rusher, if this year was just a fluke for him.
Yeah, he's a really good player. He's a really good player to have, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When we come back, we will talk about coaches hires, and retirements. Next. See you then. Welcome back to M&M. Now we are going to talk about coaches hires, retirement. Let's start off with Sean Payton.
Sean Payton, he was the coach of the Saints for forever. It was always Breeze and Payton. They were like the second Brady and Belichick. They were so, great together, and I'm looking forward to see what he does with Denver. Denver gave up a lot for him. They gave up a first and more for him. That's coaches have rarely ever been traded, but they gave up a lot. So we'll see, what he can do. He's one of the greatest coaches, but last time he won the Super Bowl in 2009 with the Saints. That was back with Drew Brees, and we'll see what he can do with Russell Wilson.
All right, can we talk about Brian Daboll, Coach of the Year? He brought a lot of energy to the team. Just a really good coach, really energetic. He really believed in his team. That's why on the first week he went for 2 for the win against the Titans.
Yep, I do remember that. Yeah, he really, was a real aggressive coach. He didn't have a lot of talent to deal with, especially at the receiver position. But, he made it work with Daniel Jones, and that's why he got $40 million a year. It's really incredible what he did, and I'm looking forward to see what he does in the future, even as a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, the NFC East, Shane Steichen, he came over from the Eagles to go and coach with the Colts. He was their offensive coordinator, and, they're going to have a new quarterback going into the draft, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do with his new quarterback, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of looking forward to that as well.
Mm-hmm. As a Giants fan, obviously how good the Eagles were last year, and I think some of Shane Steichen's, play calls and systems are going to work like they did with Jalen Hurts, could work with Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson, depending on who they go and get.
Yeah.
Okay, another new coach is DeMeco Ryans. He was the 49ers defensive coordinator. He came over he played for the Eagles and the Texans as a linebacker. He could be the next Dan Campbell, the player coach. Everybody loves the player coach, and, it'll be really fun to see what he can do with the Texans. They're probably going to get a new quarterback too, and it'll be interesting to see what these coaches can do with these rookie quarterbacks. Yeah. And, another more experienced coach, Frank Reich, he's going to the Panthers. He came over from the Colts. He got fired mid-year, which I don't think was the best decision, bringing in Jeff Saturday. But it is what it is, and it's going to be really interesting to see what he can do. He brought the Eagles to the Super Bowl against my Patriots. Unfortunately, they beat us with Nick Foles. But, him and Carson Wentz were really good that year. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So let's talk about Tom Brady's retirement. Patriots fan, so.
As a Patriots fan, I've watched him all my life, basically. As soon as I became a football fan, I rooted for Tom Brady. The first game I watched was 2013 AFC Championship game, and it was just he's been the guy for forever. It was sad to see him go, obviously, but I know you as a Giants fan face him in the Super Bowl, and it was not great when you beat us twice, but he's the GOAT.
Yep. I mean, I could just say a name and then it would just haunt his nightmares. Eli Manning.
Yeah. David Tyree. Mm-hmm. Not my favorite memories, but and we have asked 3 people about what they think about Tom Brady's retirement.
I think it's a great hire for the Broncos, and I think he'll work well with Russell Wilson. And they should be positive and make the playoffs this season.
I had a feeling that Tom Brady's retirement was going to come sooner or later. I mean, he already retired his first time. lost a lot from that, including his family, sadly. I mean, football was the man's life. He really lives for the sport. He's definitely going to be in the record books for a long time. I don't really see anybody breaking those records, even Pat Mahomes. I feel like he's a little overhyped. TB is the GOAT, and I think he'll stay that way.
I mean, it's definitely sad that he's retiring, but who knows? He might come back like he did last year. But I feel like him doing it at this age is still incredible that he's performing this well. But still, it's sad to see him go. Thank you for watching the M&M Show. That's all for today. See you the next time.
Welcome to the D&E podcast. We'll be talking about the NBA All-Stars that have been revealed, some players that have been getting attention lately, and the Warriors and Raptors games from 2019. Let's get started.
First off, we have important injuries like KD and Clay.
Yeah, that really just it hurt them in the end. They didn't have a lot of three-point shooting, obviously. They didn't have any perimeter spacing. Iguodala was like their second best player.
Yeah.
You can't win the finals with that.
Yeah, and it happened pretty early too. It wasn't like in the end where they were already out. It was like game 2. Clay got hurt, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was just it didn't look good for the Warriors early off.
And with KD, his injury, he obviously had Achilles problems earlier in the season. He chose to came back for the finals, but then he just gave out the worst way.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And then, the Warriors defense, it was just they lost a lot with those injuries. Durant, he's 6'10", wing. He can switch on to anyone.
Yeah.
KD, he could score, he could defend, he could do anything. And then Clay, he was one of the best perimeter defenders at the time, and it just wasn't a good matchup.
And players like Iguodala were left alone, and they took advantage of Curry because he's not the greatest defender.
Mm-hmm. Looney, he's more of a rebounder, interior defender.
Yeah.
They switched Kawhi and Van Vliet and Lowry on him, and he just couldn't, shift his feet enough.
Yeah. They had no perimeter, really.
Mm-hmm. And then with the Warriors' offense, there's not much they could have done.
Yeah.
Curry coming off the screens couldn't do much. They could play drop coverage with him because Kawhi was a great perimeter defender.
Yeah.
He could attack on Curry, and then they just had the roll man wide open all the time.
Mm-hmm. They had no extra options. Like KD and Clay are two of their 3 best shooters, and they weren't there. So
yep, and Sean Livingston, he can't really shoot. I mean, at the time he was a good mid-range shooter, but that was about it.
Yeah. They had really no options.
Mm-hmm. And when they played Curry and Livingston together, they had a lack of spacing at the time. And Looney, who also isn't a good shooter.
Yeah. Next we have Steve Kerr. What do you think?
He's been coaching for a while.
Yeah.
He played with the Bulls. He had, it was Jordan, Rodman, and Pippen. And then he was kind of their next best, offensive scorer. So he knows how it felt to have a lot of offensive, pressure on him. And he put all that on Curry. But with Kawhi's, great defense, it just wasn't.
He's
working.
obviously a great coach. He's been with the Warriors for a long time, really long time. But without 2 of his best players, it's kind of hard to adjust that fast
for any coach.
Yeah, especially in the finals against like one of the best teams in the NBA.
The Raptors were really great defensively that year. Lowry, he could defend. Kawhi, he could defend.
Kawhi,
and who was their center? Ibaka, he was their center at the time. He was really, a blocker. He was. That's what he was. But all right.
Yeah, their overall performance.
Yeah, they were just Warriors fell short at the time.
Raptors were obviously a better team. They had no injuries, which helps a lot.
That would have been a different series, obviously, but that's about what happened.
Yeah.
All right. Now we'll send you guys to the hallway with good observations on what if KD stayed with the Warriors in 2019.
Yeah, because their team was very stacked, and I think that they had more championships than them.
Yes, because their team was really good, and I feel like if they stayed together, they could have went further.
Yes, 1, because I'm a huge Golden State Warriors fan. 2, because Curry's the GOAT, KD's the GOAT, Clay's the GOAT, so they probably could have won 5 more, maybe more. I don't know, but yeah.
Next, we'll be talking about some of the most popular NBA players of all time after this break.
Welcome back to the D&E podcast. Our next topic will be about some of the most recent events in NBA history.
LeBron James passing Kareem in all-time points scored. Well,
I mean, he's been playing for 20-some years.
Mhm.
He's scored at least 20 in like all of them, except for his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But he's just been so consistent.
Yeah.
He's played. He never had really any major injuries throughout his career, and he's just been so consistent.
we knew it was gonna happen eventually.
Yeah, he's he's almost 40 now, but
Yeah.
he can still dunk. He can still jump. He's still very athletic.
And he's been on top of the league for 20 years.
Yep. All that playoff runs,
Yeah.
it's amazing that he hasn't had any, crazy injuries.
Yeah, or like knee problems, even just
Mhm.
like.
Well, he's big
Yeah.
dunker, so
Yeah.
his knees, I mean, look at Rob Williams. He can't last a week without getting
Yeah.
injured. So,
His longevity is just crazy.
Yep.
It's amazing.
yep. All right. And now we have Stephen Curry's history with the Warriors. He was drafted 7th. The Timberwolves had 2 chances to draft him. They didn't in both of them. I think they drafted Malachi Flynn, who did absolutely nothing in his career.
Mhm.
So he was brought up out of Davidson. Dell, his dad, good shooter back with the Hornets.
Yeah.
And, it's just he's had a great system. Mark Jackson, he was their coach back then. And now Steve Kerr, he's obviously a great coach.
Yeah, he's obviously had a great career. Curry
Mhm.
is all-time leader in three-point shot scored. Yeah, it's amazing.
He's just coming off the screens. His
Yeah.
his plays are unstoppable.
Yeah.
I think without Curry, Clay's not what he is.
Oh yeah, no way.
Because he's
Yeah.
just a great scorer, great ball handler, great
Yeah.
passer, underrated rebounder,
Yeah.
also averaging 5 a game.
Yeah, and the amount of finals they won
Yeah,
ever
it's-
since 2016, seems like they've been going consistently.
it never seems like he's scared of the moment.
Yeah.
He's just always
Yeah.
calm, except when he throws his mouth guard. But
Oh, yeah.
but outside of that, he's just been great.
Next off, we got the MVP race. There's obviously players like Embiid, Jokic. Embiid, who's having a really good season. Lots of rebounds, great defensively, great offensively.
Yeah, but I gotta say Jokic. He's the most complete player.
Yeah.
Nuggets are first in the West. They just beat Milwaukee this weekend, and I get it. Voter fatigue. He's been the back-to-back MVP.
Yeah.
I don't know about a 3-time MVP, but he carries his team. His
Yeah.
usage rate. He's like top of the league every year. He's averaging a triple-double almost. He's like Westbrook. If I understand the argument about stat padding, but they're first in the West. Westbrook's team were never first, no matter how good the help was. He had Harden, Durant,
And Jokic is so consistent. Like, lots of assists, lots of points, lots of rebounds.
he always plays.
Yeah.
He elevates the role of players. But Giannis, man,
Yeah.
I don't know. He's averaging like 30 and 10. He's the most dominant player in basketball.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. And Embiid's really good. Lots of points, everything.
We have 9 games left in the season. I
Yeah.
think if Embiid can put together, consistent 35 points, win. I know they play the Celtics. It's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah.
But I got to see if Embiid
Yeah.
can just keep on doing what he's doing. He's so unstoppable, getting like 20 free throws a game.
Yeah.
He's just amazing.
And it's not just points. It's drawing fouls, getting rebounds, playing defense, blocks, steals, everything.
Even when he's shooting, 4
Yeah.
for 20, he's still impacting the
Yeah.
game, and that's
Yeah.
important.
Mhm.
But I have to say, number 5 guy who I don't even think should be in the race, Tatum.
Yeah.
He's carried by the role players. The organization does everything to put help around him,
Yeah.
and he can't get over it. He just crumbles in every big moment, every big game. I watch Celtics, and he can't do anything.
Yeah, I understand that, but Tatum's a great player, though.
Yeah, he's a good player, but I'm just not a fan. All right. Next, we'll be sending it to the hallway, where we'll be asking 3 different people who they think the greatest NBA MVP is.
In my opinion, I feel that LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time because he's just the best all-around player for the longest period of time. Word.
I think the greatest NBA player of all time is Michael Jordan because, I don't know, he just had, like, the best attitude and, like, best skill level.
I think it's LeBron James because he has great shot making and he's achieved a lot over the past years.
Now we have the Kyrie Irving trade, of course, to the Mavericks. What do you think?
Well, I think it was a win-win for both teams. I mean, the Nets, they had a really aggressive style at the trade deadline, just blow it up. Kyrie, obviously, off the field issues, but he, he's just been good with the Mavericks, but they gave up a lot. Dorian Finney-Smith, he was their best perimeter defender, and they haven't been winning as much as Cuban has liked because they don't have any defense.
Yeah, I get that, but Kyrie, I mean, he gave Luka lots of more options on offense. It's not just him anymore, but.
And I also think, Kyrie's an expiring contract. If he leaves, they gave up like 2 firsts and great role players for that.
Yeah.
And if, they can't even get past the conference finals, I don't know if he'll want to stay. Yeah. And they gave up basically their whole future for half a season of Kyrie.
Yeah. That's true. They gave up a lot. So Nets won, but I think Mavericks won too. So
it'll be interesting to see in the long term.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about the NBA trade deadline.
We got big trades like, of course, Kyrie, KD to the Suns,
Yeah, that was the big deal.
Yeah.
I feel like the Nets are going to be in a really good position now, even though they owe some of their picks to the Rockets because of the James Harden trade. But Nets are in a really good spot.
Looking like they have a bright future, of course. They kind of lost their current players now, which sucks. But in 5 years, maybe, things could change.
Yeah, well, Nets, they don't have a great trade history in the past, but they can shape it up now.
They're obviously rebuilding, and it looks like they started off well. So
yep, they're still the 6th seed in the East, so they're rebuilding, but they're also competing, and I think that's really important for a rebuilding team to have these young players, but they'll also get a taste of winning with the 6th seed, even if they don't win a playoff series. That's still valuable playoff experience.
Helps the young guys to learn like what the atmosphere and all that stuff is like.
Mikal Bridges, he got traded in the Durant trade. He's averaging about like 30, 25, 30 a game.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
It's his team now.
Yeah.
He can make what he wants of it. After this short break, we'll next bring up the All-Star players and the reserve picks for 2023.
Welcome back. Now we will be talking about some of the All-Star picks from 2023 in the three-point contest.
Well, first I got to start with some of the All-Star snubs. First of all, Jalen Brunson. I know I'm a Celtics fan, but I got to appreciate he's been playing really well ever since he signed with the Knicks. He got, 2 straight 40-point games earlier in the season. He's just been so consistent. I know he's out now with an injury, but when he comes back, I'm scared of the Knicks.
Yeah, I'm obviously a Knicks fan. It's fun to watch. He's a great player.
Yeah,
lots of points, lots of assists, even rebounds.
He plays. Thibodeau's got him playing hard.
Yeah,
that's what I like. I like, when the stars don't get special treatment. They play like a team player, and I think that elevates the Knicks as a whole.
Also, we have Trae Young. Personally, I don't like him, but he's obviously a great player.
Well, I know you don't like him as a Knicks fan, but I think the problem with him is that he'll never be good enough to be compared to a great player, but he'll always be in that in between range that I don't really like. They're never going to bring in a second option for him because he costs a lot. But he's just, I'm not a fan. I don't think he should have been a all-star starter.
Like, he gets some Curry comparisons, but he'll never be as good.
He'll never be as good as Curry because he's not as good off the ball. And the system doesn't. I understand they brought in DeJounte Murray, but he hasn't done great. I'm a fan of DeJounte Murray, but he hasn't. The record is like 500.
Yeah, it's not too good.
Okay, so some of my favorite all-star picks are, obviously Jaylen Brown making the reserves. Finally, I think he should have been a starter. As a Celtics fan, I like him much more over Tatum. But, it's just, it is what it is. The fan votes, the media votes. The media, obviously, they have some agendas with their some of the players. But
talking about the fan votes, Austin Reeves almost got.
Yeah, Austin Reeves almost got in. Markkanen was a starter. He had a great season, but he's not a starter.
But I mean, the fan votes is what makes it fun. So also
for me and you, we do the fan votes, and it's just it's a lot better for the NBA. Publicity wise.
All right. Next, we have who won the dunk contest. Obviously, Mac McClung.
Yeah, Mac McClung. I was rooting for him. I think the thing that he did very well was he did all of his dunks in the first try.
Yeah.
He didn't make the fans wait. You know,
Yeah.
everybody was on their feet, and he delivered.
And it was all entertaining. Like, it wasn't just like normal dunks. It was
Mhm.
like cool dunks, but there was also little props and stuff. It was all,
Yeah. Normally, you know, when they do the props, they're always looking for, you know, but he just delivered. He went out there. He did the taps off the rim were really nice,
Yeah.
you know, and I once again, I like that he did it all in the first try. I think that's how it should
Yeah.
be.
But sadly, as a Knicks fan, Jericho Sims,
Yeah, he
awful performance.
awful performance, but that was not great.
It was just it's hard to watch.
It's tough watching these
Yeah.
big men.
Yeah.
You know,
Because they don't get up as high. It's like
he's got the the standing dunk down,
Yeah.
but that's not going to cut it in the dunk contest.
yeah.
But I really like all these guards and wings in the dunk
Yeah.
contest. I think that's the key
Yeah.
to
Like-
having a really good dunk
Like
contest.
6'4" to 6'6", really bouncy.
Yeah. Zach LaVine type,
Yeah.
Aaron
Yeah.
Gordon.
Yeah.
They were great back
Yeah.
back when they actually had stars in the dunk contest.
Put on
but-
good shows, yeah.
Okay. Now we're gonna send it to the hallway where we will interview 3 people on who they think will win the 3-point contest.
I have Damian Lillard because I think he's an elite shooter and he can win.
I think Damian Lillard because he's the best 3-point shooter out of all of them.
I think Jason Tatum's going to win it because he's the best 3-point shooter out of all of them.
Who won the 3-point contest?
Well, I mean, Lillard won it.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
Obviously, we were robbed of Curry in it because he was injured.
Yeah.
Clay. I know most people don't know him, but Isaiah Joe on the Thunder, he averages like 50% shooting. He's not a star. He barely plays, but he's a really good 3-point shooter. And I would have liked to see, some of the role players who are just great 3-point shooters get recognition. Like back in the day, I know J.J. Redick, Kyle Korver, they were really great 3-point shooters, but they never really got the chance to show off in the 3-point contest.
Yeah, and back on the Damian Lillard topic, like he's obviously a great shooter. He's
Yeah.
been a great shooter for probably 10 years about.
Yep, logo Lillard. You know,
lots of clutch shots, not just normal shots.
Yep.
He does everything.
Step back over Paul George. He was really great. You could tell he wanted to win that.
Yeah.
But for the other guys, I mean, Halliburton, he was in it. He's got a odd jump shot. You know, he's got the little sidearm Lonzo style.
Yeah.
But he's good.
Yeah.
He's a good 3-point shooter. But Tatum, it didn't really look like he cared.
Yeah.
It looked like he just did it for the publicity, to show off his new shoes. But that was about it.
Yeah, but he obviously is a great 3-point shooter. Great shooter
he's
Just
a bit streaky at times,
Yeah.
but he's when he's on, he's on.
Yeah,
but he
that's
wasn't
true.
on that day.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all we have for today. Stop by next week to hear more about upcoming basketball news.
Welcome to Frontline Game Show. The gaming world is now ready to present new games for the modern consoles as Microsoft's Xbox and Sony's PlayStation have released new controllers to level up gaming skills.
Along with the Oculus and Sony releasing new VR headsets that will have new features. Let's go through the news.
First, we will discuss the new controllers that Microsoft and Sony have made for their custom gaming. Xbox has made the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. Meanwhile, PlayStation has released their Dual Edge Sense controller. So what are your thoughts on those controllers?
I think they're both really good controllers, but personally I'd prefer the PlayStation controller just because of like the way it looks and like the way it feels.
Yeah, you could say that. So the cost for these controllers are $170 and the other one is $200. So they're on the expensive side, I could say.
Yeah, but I feel like they're premium controllers. So I guess like you get what you're paying for. But the $30 price tag on the PlayStation controller, like for some people it may not be worth it, but for others it might be worth it.
So for how it could how the new features on the controller can do is that for Xbox, it can do adjustable hair triggers along with tension grips on the controller as well, and it has wraparound rubberized grips.
Oh, that's nice. And what about the PlayStation?
So for PlayStation, it has adjustable triggers. So for any shooter games, you can adjust how much tension you press on the trigger buttons. It also has rear replacement buttons as well. So they both do the same thing.
Yeah, that's
very similar, I
yeah.
should say.
Andrew, which controller do you prefer?
I prefer so far the PlayStation one. Even though it is on the expensive side, I feel like it has more of an advantage, I should say. So, how can it improve gameplay is that Xbox can replace the D-pad, in which it can customize any feature it wants, and it also customizes.
So you can have like the arrows one or the circular one.
Yes, you can. You can also adjust either the control sticks depending on which one.
So you
it
can
is.
make it like concave or convex.
Yes, you can say that. And for custom features, you can map buttons on the PlayStation DualSense Edge, which any custom controller for any game that you want to do.
Do they have paddle shifters, both the controllers?
Yes, both of them do have paddle shifters as they are advertised. But they do have disadvantages as well.
What are some of the disadvantages?
Those disadvantages could be double clicking for Xbox, but also I heard that from some people that some of the buttons do not work, which is a bad sign.
Yeah.
It is a very bad sign. But that does not mean that PlayStation is perfect, because PlayStation has a possible stick drift possibility from their old controller, in which that's bad, but also it has a battery life downgrade, which is not good for this new controller at all. We have asked 3 people on their opinion on which controller is better. Let's take a look.
I would say the Dual Edge controller, because the replacement parts aren't too expensive, but the thing is with the Elite Series 2 is that you have to buy the case that has all the accessories with it, and it's kind of annoying to do that, because then you gotta spend like another $80 to buy that pack. And then the Dual Edge controller is like $200 by itself, but honestly that coming with a case and all the extra stuff is worth it compared to the Elite Series, because everything else is just you gotta buy that extra stuff when it comes with extra stuff in the box with the Dual Edge.
I prefer the Xbox One. It has the more grip to it, more good feel for me. And the PlayStation, it's a bit iffy. It's a bit small for me, for my hands.
I prefer the Xbox Series X controllers, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of the PlayStation controllers ever since they even came out. Like, I wasn't a fan of the PlayStation 4 controllers or any of the new ones in general. I've always been like a loyal Xbox fan, and that's just kind of I've stuck to it.
Those are very interesting opinions. You either prefer the Oculus Pro or PlayStation VR 2. Which VR headset is going to be superior? This and more right after the break.
Welcome back, everyone. Next, we're going to be talking about virtual reality with the MetaQuest Pro and the PlayStation VR 2.
First, we will talk about the MetaQuest Pro and the differences between the other models, such as the Oculus Quest 2.
The MetaQuest Pro starting price is $1,499.99, while the PlayStation VR 2 price is $549.99. So there's a huge gap between the prices between the two headsets. So we have asked 3 people which headset they would prefer, and here's what they said.
I'd prefer the MetaQuest Pro. Yes, it's pretty expensive compared to the PlayStation VR 2, but the thing is with that is that you'll get a lot more games to play than the PSVR 2, because they only have a few select games for it compared to like a vast big Steam library.
I prefer the MetaQuest because it's just an upgrade of the previous ones all the time. Better everything, better graphics, better RAM, better all of that.
I'd probably go with the MetaQuest Pro because I already have the Oculus One. I'm kind of looking to upgrade it eventually maybe. And I've heard stuff about the new PSVR being like that's not backwards compatible or anything, which is not something I want. So I'd like to be able to play older games and everything like that. I feel like the MetaQuest is more of a variety and everything like that. Like, there's a lot more games to play. The quality's a lot better. It's just a more portable headset.
Welcome back now. We'll be talking about the specs of the headsets. The MetaQuest Pro has 12 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, 1920 by 1800 resolution, Pro controllers, charging dock, and a Snapdragon XR2 processor. What do you think about that, Andrew?
I mean, it seems very impressive for the Oculus Pro to have this sort of feature on their new VR headset that costs $1,500.
The Oculus Quest 2, on the other hand, has 6 gigabytes of RAM, so about half, 256 gigabytes of storage, 1832 by 1920 resolution, 2 times touch controller, and a Snapdragon 865 processor. So the specs are a little bit lower, but obviously the price is like 3 times cheaper than the other one. So which headset would you prefer, Andrew?
I would probably stick with the Quest 2 just because I have a feeling that even though it is on the cheap side, I would say that I would not want to pay $1,000 to $500 for like a brand new headset.
Yeah, I agree. Next, we're going to be talking about the disadvantages between the MetaQuest Pro and the PlayStation VR 2. So the MetaQuest Pro disadvantages.
Welcome to Real Talk, featuring Dylan and Nolan. Here we will talk about a well-discussed topic: which fast food restaurant sells the best fries. First off, we will talk about salt levels.
I think that I'm not a big fan of the McDonald's fries, but what they do, I think they give great salt proportion.
I kind of like Wendy's salt levels more. I don't know. That's just me though.
Nah. I think Wendy's fries are good. Like I like the crisp, but I'm not really. Their salt's alright. You know?
Another salt level. It's not too high, but I think it's a perfect amount. Popeyes.
Popeyes. All right, I could respect that.
Yeah.
I like the Cajun. Okay.
Chick-fil-A also has good salt.
No, Chick-fil-A fries are bland. What are you talking about? Yeah.
You think so? All right.
I'm not a big fan of the waffle line.
All right.
Anything else? What's up?
No, I think we're going salt levels.
All right. Next, we're going about crispiness.
Oh, crispiness. Popeyes has good crispiness.
There's a lot of fries in the game that have good crispiness.
Yeah.
Like Shake Shack fries, really crispy, really crispy.
I think Wendy's isn't crispy, but that's also kind of good.
It depends on the batch you get.
That's true. That's true.
It could be either really good or really bad. It's the same thing with McDonald's.
But again, on Popeyes, I think they have the best crispiness for a fry.
I got Shake Shack there.
Shake Shack. Oh, all right.
And Five Guard's a little sleeper. I think they have the best taste.
I don't think they're that crispy though. I feel like.
Yeah. It depends on the batch again.
That's true. It's for everything. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have texture.
Texture. I feel like McDonald's probably has best texture.
Texture,
They've been in the game the longest.
Yeah.
They know how to do it.
Yeah. Texture. Yeah. Texture. I also like Wendy's too.
I feel like most fries do good with texture. Like yesterday after baseball practice, I had Burger King, and it tasted bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't. They're not a great fry, but they have good texture. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all cooked the same way, so texture's normal on most of them.
We recently got to talk to these Wayne High School students about which fast food place had the best fries. Meet Liz, Julia, and Nancy.
The best fast food fry is Wendy's because they have a nice level of crispiness.
I would say that the best fast food fry is probably Chick-fil-A fries. I really like the waffle cut. It's pretty good.
I think the best fast food fry is McDonald's because they're fresh and crispy.
We have the type of fry. I personally think the waffle fries from Chick-fil-A, they just they're really nice.
I'm more of a crinkle guy,
Crinkle? Oh.
Like straight to veteran. It's been in the game for a while. I'm not a big fan of the waffle, but crinkle, whenever I go to Shake Shack, I'm a big fan.
What about curly fries?
Curly
Arby's,
fries are good.
Arby's.
Arby's,
I don't like Arby's, but their fries are good.
Yeah, I've been to Arby's a couple times. I don't get any of their food. I just get the fries,
Yeah, the fries are good.
Yeah. All right, next we're talking about the best presentation.
What do you think? I think McDonald's has a good presentation. Just a classic M and the box.
Yeah, I get that, the classic M. It's just
yeah. But Wendy's too with the mom. It's cool.
But I feel like sometimes the Wendy's it falls out the bottom. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, when they put in the bag. Yeah.
McDonald's, they're nice.
Popeyes, I don't like because
when
you
put
get
them
the
in the
chicken
bag.
sandwich, when they put them in the little bag, it's bad. But when they put them in the box with the chicken, it's
tough.
fine.
It's tough.
It's good. Yeah. What Shake Shack the cup?
I mean, it's all right.
It's
Actually, hold on. The Shake Shack, not Shake Shack, Five Guys, they actually put them in a cup.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah,
I like that.
No one else does that.
Yeah,
But Wendy's, McDonald's, and Burger King, they all do the.
But I feel like the McDonald's one's it's the best one because
it's the most
I was saying, I had Burger King yesterday, and the fries kept falling out of the bottom of my thing. I was when I was eating them.
Yeah, I think McDonald's is the most classiest one. It's the oldest. All right. Stay tight for a minute while we prepare to talk about the best burgers, including toppings like the patty, the bun, the toppings, and arguably the most important, presentation.
Welcome back. Here we'll discuss a well-talked about topic. Who is the best fast food burger? First, we're gonna go into the patty.
I think a patty like cooked but not too cooked is perfect. Like the meat like medium rare. I think that's the perfect like patty.
Yeah,
like
I guess, but
like Burger King does it well. Like they cook it good. I think Habit cooks it good. McDonald's, I'm not a fan of their burgers though. So
yeah, I think McDonald's burgers are trash. I
don't really
I feel like the burgers would like when you get the char on the burgers,
Yeah.
you taste the char.
Yeah.
It's like really
Yeah.
good. Like at Habit, you order a char burger because they like.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite burgers. Cause
At Burger King, they do the good char. At Shake Shack, they don't really do it, but like
Yeah, but
it's
it's-
different.
it's-
It's still good patty, you know.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Next up, we have the buns.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Like I feel like a bun, like Habit again. Like they cook it to like a level of crisp where it's really good.
Yeah, they do. I'm not a big fan of the sesame seed bun.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more of like a plain bun guy, like you know,
Huh.
the Shake Shack bun.
Yeah.
That's good.
Uh-huh.
And they what's it called? They toast it.
Yeah.
It's really good, you know.
For me, I like sesame seed. Like Burger King, Habit, like all of them have sesame seed, but Habit's one of my favorite buns because it's toasted so well where it's like you get the crunch, but it's not too hard where it's like hard to eat, you know.
Yeah, I get that.
But I also do like the soft bun, like Burger King, like because it's easy to bite into, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I see that. And also another soft bun, Five Guys. Five Guys has a really
that's a
nice
good
soft
bun. Yeah,
bun.
that is a good one.
Everything blends,
It's like-
you know.
It's soggy, but like it's a good soggy in a way. Like
That makes no sense.
all right.
That's not soggy. It's
But-
like it's perfect, you know. It's not toasted too much. It's not like
Yeah, but like it's slightly soggy, but it's a good like way, like you know.
all right. Next we have sauce. I feel like there's not many in the game
Yeah.
that do sauce.
Yeah, there
there's
really
like
isn't.
there's like Shack sauce,
I
which
mean,
is,
yeah,
in my
Shack
opinion,
sauce.
Shack
Yeah,
sauce is
Shack
good.
sauce is good.
And what's it called? What's that
Um,
other sauce I'm thinking of? Big Mac sauce.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a big fan of the Big Mac.
I mean, like there's like places like Wendy's with sweet and sour that's really good, but no one really puts that on burgers.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of a chicken nugget
Yeah,
thing.
like the classic on burgers is like ketchup, and maybe mayonnaise too.
I'm not a mayonnaise type of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah? You like mayonnaise?
Not really. Occasionally. Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. All right.
All right.
Now you will get a chance to see some Wayne Hills High School students talk about which restaurants have the best fast food burgers. Meet Liz, Julia, and Nancy.
The best fast food burger is Shake Shack because I like how their burgers taste.
My favorite fast food burger is McDonald's because they have a lot of different topping options.
I think the best fast food burger is probably Shake Shack's burgers. They're pretty good. Whenever I go there, I usually get one.
Next we have toppings.
For me, my favorite toppings are like tomato, lettuce, and probably pickles.
I'm not a pickles guy.
Yeah, pickles guy. I think like some of like the best like tasting toppings. I don't really like the Burger King ones. I feel like they're like bland.
Yeah.
Like they're all the same thing, but I just feel like from where they're made, it's just different.
I feel like whenever I have a burger, I have to have the lettuce on it. I like the crunch, you know. And then like it depends on how they cook their onions. If they grill their onions,
yeah.
I'll always get grilled
Like,
onions.
Habit grills their onions
Yeah.
is good. But Burger King, McDonald's, they keep them like rare. They don't
Yeah.
grill their onions. I don't like them. It just throws it
Whenever
off.
I get a burger from like McDonald's,
Yeah.
I always get a just plain
Yeah.
cheeseburger, you know.
I don't know about that.
I'm just not like a McDonald's guy, you know.
Yeah, I don't get burgers from McDonald's.
I never get pickles on my
Yeah.
burgers. I don't like the consistency of pickles.
Yeah,
you know?
I get it. All right. Next we have last we have best presentation.
Best presentation. I think honestly, it probably has to go to Big Mac. The Big Mac.
It's nice, but I think Five Guys like the little.
I'm trying to think here. What do they do at Five Guys?
It just looks nice, and they have the paper thing around it.
Yeah, they do
Where
that
you
at
hold
Shake Shack though.
Yeah, and Habit.
Yeah, they do like the little like
Yeah.
plastic thing covering it.
But
and so you eat it without
I
a
like
mess,
that
you
more
know?
than like the wrap, like McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King.
I think the what's it called the Shake Shack. You open up the box. It's
Yeah, that's nice. That is
yeah.
nice.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
McDonald's, like, that, I'm not a big fan of their burgers, but I would say they have good presentation for
for
all their
everything.
stuff.
Yeah. Like chicken nuggets, fries.
They've been doing it for a while,
Yeah.
so like
they've
been in the game for a while
since like the 60s.
Yeah, yeah, right. I
Maybe
watched a movie the
earlier.
other day and it was like, I think it's called Founder. It's about McDonald's. How it was
Oh,
founded.
that's
That's pretty cool.
All right.
All right. Well, that wraps up everything on this episode of Real Talk. Next week, we keep talking about different fast food restaurants and their options.
Welcome to Topics Today with G and K. For today's show, we will cover all the hot new products that many teenagers are using right now. We will get to talk about everything from hair products to the newest skincare, so stick around and enjoy. The first product we'll talk about is the Shark Hair Styler. So I think the price of it is really good, considering it's like it does the same stuff as a Dyson. What do you think about that?
I also think it's really good because like the Dyson's really expensive for for that kind of product, and the Shark hairstyle is like less expensive, and it really like holds a nice curl in your hair.
Yeah, I agree. And like my friends have it, and like when they do their hair with it, it looks really nice and it like holds very well.
Yeah.
I got an opportunity to talk to my friend Ava about this product. Let's take a look.
I rate the Shark hairstyle an 8 out of 10 because it is very expensive, but it holds a good grip on your hair.
The next product is Olaplex. Olaplex is like really helpful because it like repairs your hair from like heat damage and stuff. And I know it's really helpful because they have like shampoo and conditioner that really helps.
Yeah, also like they have like a breaking and repair treatment, so like all the breakage at the end of your hair and like the split ends, like it really helps to nourish and repair your hair.
Let's take it to the hallway to see Caitlin's thoughts on this product.
I rate the Olaplex a 10 out of 10 because it makes my hair smooth and repairs damage.
The next product we're going to talk about is the Beach Waver. I have the Beach Waver and I really like it, and it could be expensive, but I share it with my siblings and I think it's like a really good product for the price of it.
Yeah.
And it holds like the curls really good.
Yeah, also I have the product too, and only for like $100 it's really good, and it's compared to other products out there, it's really easy to use because all you have to do is a click of a button and it rolls up your hair and gives it a nice curl that stays all day.
Yeah, like also if you're in a rush and you like have to go somewhere fast and you want your hair to look nice, what I do is it literally takes me 5 minutes, and I have like really thick hair, so it curls really fast, and also it works on like any type of like hair.
Yeah, I also definitely agree with that because when I use it, I also have thick hair, and it really just makes your hair look good.
Yeah. The next product we're going to be talking about is the Tree Hut Scrubs. My favorite scent is probably the watermelon one because it makes my legs like really smooth, and it's good for like exfoliation.
Yeah, my favorite scent is probably the coconut one. It smells really good, and whenever I'm using it, it really makes my whole like body smooth, and it makes it like shiny and smells really good.
So let's go back to the hallway to see what Amanda's favorite scent is.
My favorite scents of the Treehouse Scrubs are watermelon, strawberry, and cocoa colada.
The next product we're going to talk about is the Sol de Janeiro perfume. I have the number 62 and 40, and I really like 62, and it lasts like really long, so I really like to use it when I'm like going out and stuff.
I have number 62 too. It's a really good scent, but my favorite scent is probably the 68, the pink one. That one smells so good, and like it's just really good for whenever you go out and you need to use a perfume.
Yeah, I know like a lot of people have like certain numbers because like more numbers are like more popular than the other numbers, which I think is really good because they're popular.
Skincare and makeup products have been selling off of the shelves like crazy. Stay here, much more to come. So the first makeup product that I want to talk about is the Rare Beauty blush. I have the Rare Beauty blush, and I have it in the shade Joy, and it really like is a nice pigmented color that lasts on your face.
Yeah, it also like you only need like a little amount of it, so like it lasts like a very long time. Like the bottle that you get lasts like a really long time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And also like there's multiple different shades, and one of the shades that is really popular is the shade Happy, and you could use it like not only just for blush, you could also use it on your lips if you really wanted to, and it just acts like a better like lipstick even.
Yeah, also like if you're like a different skin tone, like they have blush for everyone. So like depending on what skin tone you are, the blush like matches you.
Okay, now we will look to see what Amanda rates this product.
I rate the Rare Beauty blush a 10 out of 10 because it makes my skin very glowy.
The next product that I want to talk about is the Drunk Elephant Bronzing Drops. So the Drunk Elephant Bronzing Drops are really, really popular right now. And it's like a skin, like a fake tan that's not permanent. So it's easy to like wipe off, and it like holds a really good tan.
Yeah, I agree. And also it's like getting advertised on TikTok and a lot of things, because it's like people use it in Get Ready With Me's and all that. And I really just think it's like a good self-tanner because it's just on your face and stuff.
Yeah, and like going back to the Rare Beauty blush, like this works on all shades of skin too. So like no matter what, all you have to do is mix it with some moisturizer, and then you get like a really nice tan on your face.
Yeah, I agree. It's also like really pricey though. I think that's the only like thing that's kind of like a con for it, because a lot of people don't want to spend that much money for a little bottle like that, and also because they don't know how well it's going to work.
It's also really convenient to get, because you could just go to like your local Ulta and buy it there.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. In the hallway, I asked my friend Caitlin what she thinks of this popular product.
I rate the Bronzing Drops a 10 out of 10 because it gives me a nice tan and isn't harmful.
Welcome back. Now we will talk about the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. So this lip mask makes your lips really, really smooth. So all you have to do is keep it on overnight, and then you wake up and just wipe it off, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, I also think how it's like a really good product because you can also use it to travel. It's like travel size, so it's like very helpful for where you want to go places.
Yeah, and it's not too pricey. Like they make like a lot of products, and like they're all different sizes, but like this one especially, it's really popular right now, and I think like a lot of people are using it for the reason that it like really helps to repair your lips, and it's just overall really worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so our next product is the Charlotte Tilbury Liquid Highlighter. So you could apply this to really anywhere on your face that you really want it, but on like your cheekbones it looks really good, and it has like a good shine and shimmer.
It's also really easy to apply.
Yeah. So like it just like comes out like the tube like it really easily. All you have to do is just add a little bit, just like the Rare Beauty blush. Only a little bit will come like a long way, and it lasts for a long time.
Yeah, I also think it's helpful how it comes in like silver and gold and rose gold, because it could like if you're wearing like silver jewelry, it'll match with silver highlighter, and I think that's very helpful.
I'm so glad I had the chance to ask Ava about how she enjoys this highlighter.
I rate the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter a 10 out of 10. Although it is pricey, it makes me have a very nice glow.
The final product that we'll talk about is the Glossier Balm.com. So this is a really good lip gloss, and it's not pricey at all. And like it comes in like a lot of different shades and flavors. The one that I just got was the Swiss Miss one, which was really popular, and it really like looked really good.
Yeah, I agree. And like the price of it is like not too bad considering it does like a really good job on your skin.
Yeah, and it makes your lips really shiny, so like no matter what like the occasion, you can use it for really anything, and that's why like one of the reasons why I think it's really, really good.
Yeah, I also think it's really worth it to get it.
That's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in, and be ready for all of the new hot topics to come soon. Have a great rest of your day, and see you in the next episode.
Welcome to the Retro Reporters. The NFL has lots of great moments to show, from funny moments, crazy plays, and insane comebacks. We'll be wrapping up on Tom Brady's retirement in Super Bowl 57. Let's get started.
All right, let's start off with the regular season, all right? So Chiefs and Eagles both top of their conference, to the two best teams, and then even going into the Super Bowl, just best teams overall. Any thoughts about that?
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Chiefs or the Eagles. I'm a Dolphins fan personally.
I mean, me too. I'm a Giants fan, just not a fan of both of the teams, but
yeah, but
it's fun to watch them play.
Always seems like the Giants guys come back to nip you. I mean, you had Kadarius Toney for that crazy run, making a world record.
Yeah. All right, so the biggest comeback happened this season. It was the Vikings against the Colts. and it was just insane to see like the Vikings down 33 points at halftime and then ended up winning it in overtime. What do you think about that?
I was actually watching the game at work on our phones while we were up in the box doing the scoreboard for lacrosse games. And I was watching, and I'm like, oh, this game's over within, like, the second quarter. But then they started coming back and climbing up, and it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah. An OMG moment, like a jaw-dropping moment, was in the Patriots game against the Raiders, where it was a tie game, and it was the last play of the fourth quarter. And for some reason, one of the Patriots offensive player tried to lateral it, trying to get a touchdown, ended up getting picked up by the Raiders defenseman and running it, stiff-arming Mac Jones and running it all the way for the win. Did you see that live? Or
I didn't see it live, but I saw a clip of it, and I thought it was crazy. It was just an absolutely incredible play from the side of the Patriots throwing it. And then after with the Raiders stealing it and going back just for the win, it shows how much effort and determination went into that play.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it live. I just couldn't believe what happened, and I didn't know what to say. There was just a shock on my face.
It's truly a jaw-dropping moment, you'd say, huh?
Yeah. So the stat leaders: Patrick Mahomes, most passing yards; Josh Jacobs, most rushing yards; and Justin Jefferson, most receiving yards. What do you think of those three players right there?
I think they're pretty accurate. I mean, they're all good. I mean, Tom Brady's definitely out of his prime now these days.
Yeah.
You'd say Patrick Mahomes is definitely an up-and-coming guy throughout the seasons now.
I mean, yeah, it's fun to watch him play.
Justin Jefferson's an absolute monster of a player. All these other guys definitely deserve what they've got coming.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, they still have a lot of years ahead of them, so still probably breaking some records in the future. And for the rewards, Patrick Mahomes, of course, MVP. I mean, kind of expected. Geno Smith, Comeback Player of the Year. I was hoping it will be Saquon Barkley. Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Jefferson. And Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa. And Coach of the Year, which I think is really well-deserved, Brian Daboll. Giants fan. I love watching him. And he was just an energetic coach, brought huge energy to the team. Any thoughts on him or anyone else?
Brian Daboll was definitely a great coach. He brings energy to the team. He knows how to get them up and ready for all the games. He does a good job prepping them, and it seems like it works out most of the time. That's it. All the other guys deserve their awards. Patrick Mahomes, yeah, definitely. He's young. He's got tons of potential, and he's going to go far in his career. All the other guys, such as Bosa. Bosa's an animal on defense. He's left and right going through guys. He's a beast.
All right. We now got a chance to talk to Miles about what he thought about the regular season. Let's go to him.
We see you're a Patriots fan. What were your thoughts on the season so far?
Well, they started off pretty bad. They ended pretty bad. Bailey Zappi had to come in, but the offense was terrible all year. Ramondre was okay, but Mac took a huge step back. Jacoby, I like Jacoby, but it just couldn't get it done. Matt Patricia, he's absolutely terrible at calling plays. Thank goodness they fired him, brought in Bill O'Brien back, but that was pretty good. The defense, they were really good actually this year. Kyle Duggar, Matthew Judon, Juwan Bentley, Anthony Jennings, Dem McCourty. I hope he comes back, but the defense was good. They forced a lot of turnovers, got a lot of defensive touchdowns because we needed that. And Belichick was his usual self, always preparing the guys, and that's really it.
We'll be right back. We will cover Kadarius Toney's record play, Skylar Thompson's step to glory, Nick Bosa, a funny moment, and a big catch by Stephon Diggs. All right, so now throw into special team plays. What did you think of the Kadarius Toney play during the Super Bowl where he ran down a 64-yard touchdown, breaking a world record?
Yeah, that's a record right there. I mean, yeah, former Giants player, so proud of him. Hopefully, I hope he stayed at the Giants. Probably really hoped he would have done better at the Giants before he left, but still, he broke a record, so good for him.
What do you think about him throughout the season? He was good for the Giants during the time he was there now.
I wish he did more, to be honest.
All right, now moving on to big throws. What do you think of Skylar Thompson this year, stepping up as the third-line QB?
I mean, nobody really knew who he was, but he really made a name for himself during by doing that, by his big throws, and yeah.
I thought he did well against the Bills in that game. He had some good throws. He threw a pick or two, though. But otherwise, he overall really tried to make a good impression for himself. All right, now moving on to defensive guys. We got Nick Bosa, the beast himself. What were your thoughts on Bosa this season?
Jeez, Bosa, he's such a great player. Still, like him, he's still young. He has a lot of years ahead of him. So he's a beast now. Gonna be even more of a beast later on in the years coming.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, now moving on to something a little less serious. We got funny moments. It's got some good times for this. We had a part during the NFL where Rex Burkhead, during the season, took Justin Britt by the back of his jersey and threw him into another guy like a human shield. I thought it was completely priceless. Any thoughts on that or any other funny moments throughout the season you saw?
Didn't really see any other funny moments, but I saw the clip and I thought that was just a genius play. I mean, he got extra yards out of that, so that was pretty funny.
All right, now moving on to big catches. Stephon Diggs, what do you think of him?
Oh, he's top 5 receiver, top 3. You could, he's just a great, fast player with good hands.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of potential, great player. He's got a lot in front of him coming up. Great season for him, and we wish him the best. All right, now, Tyreek Hill. What do you think about Tyreek Hill?
Fast. That's all I think of him. He's fast. And he's just zooming past the cornerbacks, the safeties, and he's really good with his hands.
He's definitely got good hands for catching and everything. He's a good runner. He's got a lot of potential, great guy. I hope he sticks to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
All right, now, Justin Jefferson. Great guy. Definitely, we know he got the MVP awards from the season. He's definitely got more to come to him. I think that he's got a lot of potential. What are your thoughts about him?
I mean, the catch he made this season, the best catch, that was just awesome. I mean, I saw it live. It was incredible. Like, the athletic ability that he is capable of is just awesome.
All right, now let's throw to our interview of Jason Hook and see what his favorite moment of the season was.
My favorite part of the season, probably a tie between two moments. I'm a Jets fan, so I got to say Sauce Gardner's first career interception. I mean, he's a lockdown corner, so I got to say, it was exciting to see him get his first career pick. And Garrett Wilson, a fellow rookie, his 54-yard touchdown was huge. I mean, he's great at juking out his defenders, so I was really hyped to see that play.
We will be right back. Sit tight. We will be covering the playoffs, injuries, Tom Brady's retirement, and the Super Bowl. And now we move on to the playoffs. So, one crazy play was when it was against the Bengals and the Ravens. The Ravens, I think by the 2-yard line, they try a QB sneak, but the ball gets knocked out of the Ravens' QB hands, and the Bengals defenseman picks it up, runs all the way down. Pretty sure it was a 99-yard defensive touchdown. And it was just a big moment for the big guy who scored. What are your thoughts about that?
That's a lineman's dream right there, catching the ball and going for the big score. It's definitely a cool moment, and congrats to them. Great game.
Yeah. And the playoff stat leaders. So we have Joe Burrow with the most passing. We have Christian McCaffrey with the most rushing yards. And Travis Kelce, probably the best tight end in the league, with the most receiving yards. Any thoughts about those players?
Yeah, I thought that, in my opinion, Travis Kelce is definitely one of the top guys for tight end. He's just such a big dude, and he's such a offensive threat on the field. He's going out there, and he's killing it. Him and Mahomes click up like Brady and Gronkowski.
Yeah.
All right, now moving on to injuries. We have some crazy injuries throughout the season. Starting with the Dolphins QB, we all heard of it. Tua, he's gone down. We had Tyler step in for Skylar Thompson. He did good. Sadly, he's been out with his 2 concussions and a grade 3 one, and the other one was grade 1. Pretty sad. What are your thoughts about him?
It's sad to it's hard to take in an injury. I mean, you don't know where your career is going to be after the injury. You're either going to come back even better or just, you want to come back better after, so you're going to have to train hard.
Yeah, definitely a lot of issues, especially with like a guy like Kyler Murray. He tore his ACL, which he's going to be out for. It's a tough injury to recover from. It's just sad. I mean, I myself have sustained an injury with patella tendon, which is pretty close to that, which is about a 10-month injury that took a while to recover from.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough. We'll see how they come back. And I'm moving on to Super Bowl review. Super Bowl 57 was a great game to watch. I thought it was amazing. Both teams played really well, both sides, offense and defense. My favorite play definitely was the one with Kadarius Toney run that special teams touchdown. That was incredible. World record breaking play, absolutely amazing. What are your thoughts about it?
The Super Bowl, I loved watching that game. It was so fun to watch. High-scoring game, which you don't really see often, but it was just fun to watch. Just drive after drive, there's always something happening.
It was a great season to wrap it up on us. We'll see how it comes up to next 2023 season coming up soon. We'll see. Now, to interview with Ademi. We now go for him for a Super Bowl review.
The Super Bowl this year was like one of the best in the last, in my opinion, the last 10 years. I had my favorite team in there, the Kansas City Chiefs. They obviously won. Patty Mahomes is the GOAT. Like, everybody who went against Patty in the Super Bowl are out of their minds. What a performance by Jalen Hurts. But I honestly didn't think that the Eagles could have beaten the Chiefs because the Chiefs did go, what did they go, 16 and including the playoffs? I'm not sure what they went, but it was really close to undefeated. But, that's just my Chiefs. So, yeah, the Super Bowl was just very interesting.
All right, then. You don't got to shove it in our face. He's really not that guy, pal. All right, sadly, we're losing the GOAT. Tom Brady's retiring for real this time. This is the second time he's putting up his retirement. What are your thoughts about it? You think he's going to come back or not?
You never know. I mean, he just might come back out of nowhere. But to be honest, he could still do it at his age, which is really impressive to me. And he's the best.
I mean, he's got more rewards and records than any other player he's throughout his 23 career season, which is insane. 23 seasons played, that's crazy. And he wanted to still go. Can't believe he retired, came back out. It's crazy. Great guy.
Yeah. All right, and that's all from the Retro Reporters today. Thanks for stopping by, and we will catch you on the next time for Retro Reporters.